Welcome to our Zoom meeting today of the Board of Public Works and Safety, Tuesday, the 24th of November, convening at 5 p.m. We will call the meeting to order and let the record reflect that we do have a quorum to do this business for the City of Lawrence today. First item on the agenda is minutes of the meeting on November 12th. Are there any corrections or deletions to those minutes?
I'm just going to interject. This is Ashley real quick. Renee, do you want to read that statement at the bottom of the agenda, please, and just make sure that we do a kind of a roll call vote of everyone who's present?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
The public may participate by dialing 1-312-626-6799 and entering the following participation code: 8577-889-6158#. If you would like to provide comments remotely, please email them to rrafala@cityoflawrence.org. And roll call for the board members. Doug Reeser.
Present.
Sean Wright Brown.
Present.
Mark Clark. You're muted, Mark.
Present.
Thank you. Staff present, we have myself, I'm the board secretary, Renee Rafala. We have city attorney Ashley Hopper.
Sorry, present.
Police Chief David Hoffman.
Present.
Director of Economic Development Dan Zerner.
Yes, ma'am.
Director of Utilities Scott Salisbury, in person. And I'm not sure who Paul is.
Paul Lucian with the Lawrence Police Department and also the advisor. Okay.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure, so I appreciate that, Paul. And Doug, you can take over.
Okay, we did formally entertain the minutes from the meeting that was held on November 12th. Are there any corrections or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve those minutes? And I guess doing Zoom, do we need to do this in roll call order, Ashley?
Yes, we still have to do a roll call vote. That's required.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor will signify aye as your name is called if you approve.
Doug Reeser.
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner.
Aye.
Mark Clark.
I approve.
Okay, thank you. The motion carries for the minutes then 3-0, and they are approved. We have no unfinished business before the board today. We will go into the new business, and we do have approval of three items here that are similar in nature but different vehicles. We have approval, item A, vehicle lease agreement between the Explorers Lawrence Police Department for a 2013 Chevy Impala, VIN number 2G1WD 5339D125486. Are there questions on this lease agreement? Hearing none. Mr. Clark.
Is this a dollar buyout? Well, they'll own the vehicles once the lease is over, or how is?
So a little background here real quick, and I can turn the specifics over to Officer Lucian, who is our Explorer unit, or Explorer Post Coordinator. These vehicles are gently used 2013 Impalas that were donated to the Explorer Post 160, which is its own entity. It's not a part of the city. It's a independent 501c3 operating to the benefit of the Lawrence Police Department, as you probably all know. They're known as the Explorers. So these vehicles technically the property, not technically, but the property of the Lawrence Explorer Post 160. And what we are proposing in these 3 vehicle lease agreements is in general, a $1 annual lease from the Explorers to the city for the use of the Lawrence Police Department and the Explorers therein. And as you can see through all the terms of the agreement, they're all spelled out very specifically. So that's that's how and why we're here. It's a generous donation from our colleagues at the Carmel Police Department. These are decommissioned Carmel police cars that have been stripped of their all their insignias and police equipment, and we will be adding our own Lawrence Police Explorers. Insignias, graphics, and the legal, I guess, light bar with amber and possibly red lights as prescribed by Indiana law on emergency vehicles.
Oh, thank you.
Other questions for Chief? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the vehicle lease agreement?
Motion to approve the vehicle lease agreement.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions on the motion? Hearing none, again by roll call vote. Renee?
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Brown,
Aye.
Mark Clark,
Aye, please.
Motion carries 3-0, so item A is approved. We'll move to item B, approval of a lease agreement, again, between Explorers and Lawrence Police Department for a 2013 Chevy. Most importantly, an Impala VIN number 2G1WD5E35D, as in dog 1252246. And again, if there are any additional questions, but this is kind of the same format. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, again, roll call vote. Signify by saying aye.
Doug
Aye.
Reeser, Sean Wright Brown,
Aye.
and Mark Clark.
Aye.
And item B, approval of this lease agreement is approved 3-0. We move to item C, approval of another vehicle lease agreement between Explorers and the Lawrence Police Department, 2013 Chevy Impala. Most important, VIN number 2G1WB3EXD 1252372. That is the vehicle. Are there any questions for the chief? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Clark. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those again signify by saying aye in a roll call manner.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
And the motion carries 3-0, so those items for the Explorers have been approved. Moving to item D. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to take a minute real quick to specifically and publicly thank Ashley Hopper for her work on this lease agreement with Officer Lucian. They worked very closely together and to get you the lease agreements that you voted on tonight. And I want to thank you all for your support of our Lawrence Explorers. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chief, and that's duly noted for the record. So thank you again, Ashley, for your efforts to make this happen.
Thank you.
Item D is an approval of an agreement with Banning Engineering, 46th and Franklin replat. Are there some comments
Well, I think you need some background probably, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I may,
Okay, Dan.
may I share the screen, Renee?
I'm not the admin host, so I think IT has to do that.
Okay.
I know they're listening, so.
I thought I could be easier just to give you some background if I could share a couple things real quick.
Okay.
There. You
There we
can
go.
share now, Dan.
Thank you. So you should be able to see my screen, I hope. Is that confirmative?
Yes.
It's coming up. There
Yes,
we
sir.
go.
All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is when I came to this role in March, one of the first things I identified, there's a numerous parcels scattered around the city that are not on the tax rolls that the city's having to maintain, that we need to get back on the tax rolls and get off the city's maintenance and liability positions. This particular parcel you see here is in the Harrison Woods subdivision. This is 8101 Harrison. So when you look at it in an aerial, you'll see that again from a different view. It's a little unique though in that the parcel is not complete. You'll see a chunk out of it right here where my mouse is working. And unfortunately, this chunk is big enough that this property cannot be developed because it can't meet setbacks and other regulations with this chunk out of it. And as you'll see in a minute, when I pull it up on the next exhibit, prepared by Joe Murphy for me, this is that parcel 8101. And what has happened is over the years, this was a vacancy of McCoy Street that's no longer there. As it also has these alleys that were no longer there. And all these homeowners have absorbed all this property through their yards and their fencing and everything else. They just don't know they don't own it. And I discovered it by mistake. And what the RDC would like to be able to do is give this 8101 property to the CDC to redevelop, put a home on it, complete the parcel, get it off the city's rolls, and all these parcels, kids are playing in them, other things happening. The city is really liable for anything that might happen on them. We'd like to convert this all back and just give it all back to these lots and get it on the tax rolls. And this property card will show you, we have no idea when this all took place or how long it's been there. There's no record whatsoever that takes us back in time to let us know how long it's been this way. So Ashley and our corporate counsel, Tom John, the RDC's counsel, we all looked at this, and it was going to cost quite a bit to get counsel to research all the titles and all the legal descriptions. So what we came up with, the easiest thing to do was to have an engineering firm come in, take a look, or a survey firm come in, take a look at this, replat all the title descriptions survey it, and then redo all the legal descriptions for all the pieces of property and help us get it recorded. And as you can see, the cost of it is significantly than what attorney hours would be to do that same role. It was my idea originally, and I was incorrect, that the RDC would cover this because it's going to benefit the RDC property, but Ashley informed me the RDC can't do this because the City Board of Works actually owns this property. So we're asking you to approve this agreement so we can turn that property back to the tax rolls, get it off the liability, and allow the RDC to move that parcel to the CDC so it can be developed and back on the tax rolls. That's the history. I appreciate your
Great, Dan. Other questions? Do we have questions from the board?
So will,
That was,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to mention that was a very good explanation.
So will there be the property that will be deeded back to the homeowners? Are they aware that their property taxes could go up?
We have to provide them notice, legal notice, which Ashley's prepared to do. We have to provide them legal notice that we're going through this process, and they have I assume, Ashley, you can comment, they have the right to respond or inquire.
There's a process in the statute in regards to that lays out how you go about doing this. So as Dan indicated, notice will be provided. on this. So, and it will go through the city council as far as the vacation. I believe, Dan, that's what you were referring to. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so it will go through the city council in regards to the vacation. So this is just the step, kind of one of the first steps in order to get an idea of what the legal description is so we can start that process moving forward.
Okay, I just wonder if there's going to be pushback from people wanting, upset property tax increases or anything like that. I know that's not for us to decide. I was just curious how that was going to be handled.
I think you're going to find that the amount of property added to each of those parcels is pretty minor. But nonetheless, we do need to vacate the alleys and right away and clean it up.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Thank you for finding this and correcting it.
I think that there's another parcel that Ashley's working with that's going to come to your attention in the same regard, and that's the parcel in Oakland, and it was the old pump house. I think we're looking at that parcel too to bring to you for future action.
Okay. Other questions for Dan or Ashley? Okay, it sounds like we have our first step before the board. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Banning Engineering at 46th and Franklin replat. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Browner. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye in a roll call manner.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
And the motion carries 3-0, so that agreement is approved.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much
Dan.
for supporting your professionalism. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you now. Item E would be the approval of our proposed 2021 meeting dates. I don't know if we have any questions on those or some major conflict that might enter into this. If not, I would entertain a motion for approval of our meeting dates for 2021.
Motion to approve our meeting dates for 2021.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
I second.
By Mr. Clark. So all those in favor will do again roll call vote, signify by saying aye.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
And our meeting dates are approved 3-0. Thank you. We move to comments of administration. So I don't know if we have anyone that wants to update us on anything or make comments concerning the city. Hearing none, I'm not sure if we have citizens, Renee, that have entered our program today, our meeting. You could let us know if anybody
Not that
is
I'm
there.
seeing.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any, sir.
Very good. As the board chairman, I would like to wish everyone a safe and socially distanced, I guess we'll say, for your Thanksgiving holiday and getting with people that we all try to do safe practices and keep everyone healthy. And everyone do have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And at this time, I'll entertain an adjournment motion.
Motion to adjourn.
By Mr. Clark. Is there
Before
a
we
second?
adjourn, I had a question. Second.
By Mr. Browner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.